They flogging, they flexing, they bitches. The city know they hoes. Why you think they try to click up with their motherfucking body? They not gonna kill none or let none die. Never did. All they homies they never got they get back. Ever. But be putting all these niggas in they song, dead niggas, like they done stood on business. They never stood on shit. Boy, we EBT. My mama. We don't fuck with them niggas, and if you talking about you EBT and fuck with them niggas, they lie. Pig. All these miscellaneous ass niggas just claiming shit, and niggas letting them.
Police presence between Eberhard and Rhodes on 63rd. Patrol cars, blue lights flashing after a police-involved shooting.
He got shot 7 times on Rhodes, right there by the police.
Friends say 19-year-old Rasan Shah had just left them to get something to eat.
He was running through the alley with no gun or nothing, because he just left us, so we know he ain't had no gun. The police shot him unjustified. Too many times in his back. He ain't do nothing, man.
Chicago Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 7 spokesperson Pat Camden says Shaw was caught by police in the middle of a drug deal. They went after him. Camden says Shaw pointed a gun at police.
The officer defends himself, shoots the offender. We did recover a .40 caliber Glock with an extended clip.
Chaos erupts after the shooting. An angry mob gathers.
Speak on, KI before, right?
Yeah, that's Lil Sis.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So she's like one of the biggest characters that's been in. The crazy part is she's not a rapper. She's never put out a song. It's not like she's been out here doing interviews, but the world is so fascinated with her. And they got a lot of stuff on her name. You know what I'm saying? First of all, did you know K.I. like that?
What? Hell yeah, that's Lil Sis. I love her to death. You feel? Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm talking about, I wish, she wouldn't have, I don't know, man. It is what it is, though, but I just wish she would have moved different, man.
Yeah.
So, like, I know the streets, and if I was on the other side, because I'm on this side, don't mean I'm finna justify the fact a motherfucker was bogus for checking her out, because that's just what it is. On phone,
yeah.
It's cracking. What? I'm saying, you claiming you did what to my mans? It's that when we get up with you. It's only right. It's only right, gang. So it's like, that type of shit happened, man. I just wish it wouldn't have happened to her, but I just blame the fuck niggas around her.
All on TV keep my own, man. You know what's happening. Real shit. Hey, yeah, man, I ain't mean to hang up on you and shit. Say, we ain't gonna give me tickets to one of your son's show or something. That's a little hot. I know that shocked the shit out you, man. Your little son blew up and shit. You would never guess that. Yeah. I done got me some famous pussy. How long you been fucking with me, man?
Shout out Lil B. Rolling out the dope.
Y'all know what's up with me. Even if I gotta be by myself, it's gonna be like that, nigga. Cause I'm a stun on what I say.
Oh, what's up, bud?
What's up with y'all, bro? Y'all playing games, boy. You know, talk about this shit already.
Who is y'all? Who is y'all, bro? Who is y'all?
Stop playing on the internet, boy. Over there on jerky, not coming out hood.
What's your hood, bud? What's your hood?
Eberhard, 61st Street, 2nd Eberhard, nigga. My block, nigga. I've been on all my life. You niggas went on that block, nigga. Fuck me on the
Who?
What you trying to say, man?
On BT for y'all niggas so internet for on Shondell Gregory for you and whoever else on Shondell Gregory for if you got a problem with cash for call his phone on Shondell Gregory, bud. You know me, folks. On Shondell Gregory.
Stop talking on this lie like you really like that or you a threat or something.
I'm not.
I got love for you, bro.
But your brother a bitch. Bub, I'm not, bub.
My brother a bitch.
Okay, tell it to him, folks. Folks, don't come up on here, folks. You got niggas up on you got niggas up on here. You got niggas up on here.
I don't give a fuck who watching this, so you niggas got the word thinking we bitches, nigga. Fuck y'all.
Folks.
Put up EBT. Lonely headshot Hack, he did that shit for Lil Boss T. And Hack was baby scratch, but he made GBG.
To speak facts on my mama, y'all always talking about TY can't get right, and a lot more of the guys. Tell him who really knocked them down. Y'all around the niggas every day that really knock folks down, and this y'all homie. Y'all know, I know. Stop playing, folks. Y'all fake as fuck, G. On my mama. You fake bitch, dick riding ass niggas. On my mama, boy, y'all around these people every day that killed that man. Ain't no ops did that shit. I know, man, y'all know what the fuck going on. While all you little hoes be laughing and condoning this goofy shit going on. Hey, tell him who knocked y'all people down. Folks, nigga, ain't STL. Y'all funny, G. Oh, my mama. Talking about I said fuck duck. Why the fuck would I say that? Folks was starting to realize y'all ass was fool. Oh my mama, y'all, he was starting to realize y'all is fool as fuck, shorty. Y'all ain't even go to the man funeral, folks. Y'all ain't even help shorty Mondoos put him down the correct way, folks.
The Fall of Tukaville, Episode 3. When the Family Fell, STL, EBT, and JaroCity. Went from family to war hook to the ones who stayed the whole way. Stop whatever you are doing right now. Just stop. Because before we give you Episode 3, before we open the final chapter of one of the most documented, most dissected, most painful stories in the history of Chicago's South Side, we need to say something directly to the people who have been here from the beginning. If you watched Episode 1, you already know. You know what we built in that first hour. You sat with the archaeology of this story, the geography, the shared history, the period before the war when these men were not enemies, when STL and EBT and JaroCity and FBG all existed in the same compressed world without the specific, devastating purpose of destroying each other. You sat with the origins. You understood the stakes before the first shot was fired. If you watched Episode 2, you went somewhere with us that most channels will not go. You sat through 3 hours of the forensic record at its most uncomfortable. The war, the bodies, the retaliation cycles, and then the chapter that lives beneath all of it, the chapter that nobody on any side of this beef wants to be the one to open, the snitching chapter. Both sides, all the names, all the paperwork, all the moral weight of a community that said it valued loyalty above everything, and then watched, case by case, cooperation agreement by cooperation agreement, as that loyalty broke under the precise, calibrated pressure of the federal system's specific cruelty. You stayed for all of it. You did not click away when it got complicated. You did not stop watching when the honest account refused to give you the simple story. The story where one side is righteous and one side is wrong.
Bad up or die broke, you dumb bitch.
Everybody's scared. Everybody's scared. They say them twins out there. Dumbest.
Niggas talking all this money, ain't seen shit check, man. And it's a little check, man.
Like, come on, man. So, hey, look, what you want to get hit with? The 5.7?
You want to get hit with the fully?
What you got?
You want to get hit with that? You want to get hit with that?
What you got?
You want to get hit with the 19?
I love it. It's some.
And you get to leave feeling certain about where you stood. You stayed. This is for you. And if you are new here, if Episode 3 is where you found the streets are talking for the first time, welcome. Subscribe right now before we go any further, because you are going to want to see everything that came before this, and you are going to want to see everything that comes after. This channel is the forensic record. We do not choose sides. We do not sensationalize. We do not turn real human beings into content props for the algorithm. What we do is tell the truth, with precision, without flinching, about everybody. And what the truth requires in Episode 3 is a kind of courage that is different from what Episodes 1 and 2 required. Because Episodes 1 and 2 were about history, about causes and effects, alliances and betrayals, the documented record of a war that started years ago, and the specific decisions on every side that made it escalate. Episode 3 is about right now, about today.
Shit, young just told me you was trying to call me the other day.
You say what? Man, what's all that tough shit you talking about?
Man, come on, Mikey. That's what
crack red. No, ain't none of that. I ain't gonna shoot you. On crack, I ain't gonna shoot you. I can kill you right now. On crack, I can kill you right now. I ain't gonna shoot you though. I'm that down. We can shoot the one. We'll do whatever you wanna do.
Man, you know
I'm fucked up too. I'm shot too. On crack, I'm shot too.
Nah, I still got plates and all that in my shit.
I ain't know, like, well, if I slap you right now, if you want to, right?
Nah. How you gonna, bro?
You say what? Nah, you was just talking about that on Facebook. You was just,
man.
I put the gun down on crack. I ain't got no gun.
Going to school, your ass used to get walked across King Drive. You started doing what you was doing. I respected you. I respect what you was doing back then.
Mikey used to be down in the sit house, but we knew he was like that. You know, I'm walking through 62nd, you see Shorty. Next thing you know, we heard some shots. When Shorty came, it was trouble. They dropped some Matrix shit. They was, I ain't gonna lie, they had some raw shit going. They had some raw. We talk about movies, man.
I look like back then. They was two motherfuckers like trying to be on some gangster shit. They was best ops. Like these two motherfuckers who like look, he was the only shorty that was that age doing the shit he was doing. And the D-Thing was really the one of the only motherfuckers his age doing the shit he doing.
Many get pop leaf out, right?
I went to jail for that little shit that happened that day when the police truck and Manny getting shot and all that shit. I beat that shit. Police truck had got shot up. Manny had got shot in the leg. They had get me aggravated discharge. I smoked that shit. I'm right back down. I feel like, man, look like get juvenile life. He went back to jail.
When I got out, I'm like, finally, for real ops from Jaro, I know, folks. I'm like, finally. Look like real JaroCity on video. He used to be clapping at us too, folks. Like, Lil Mike like that. On phone him, he was a little slow. We always thought Lil Mike rode the short, but.
Oh, y'all doing too much, man. He's little as hell.
It don't matter, he's resisting.
He finna break his fucking shoulder out in socket.
Stop moving. That's all you gotta do.
How can he move with three of y'all on him?
Stop moving. Stop moving.
And we don't have to keep you on the ground. Stop moving.
We'll put you up when you...
It's my Drake, I thank the Lord, but don't hit the flow. Take a piss and grab my blick, don't leave my five, I dot the dope. Never cry when blood spill, I'm ready to suit up, let's get it on.
Every day I gotta wake up to this shit for like, y'all, a lot of y'all sit around, watch us, and y'all have y'all opinions of us, but y'all don't even understand the pain that we go through, G. Like, y'all don't even understand, for my soul hurt, for my shit burned, for I miss my sister every day. I miss Kyra every day. I miss Duck every day. I miss them every day. Every day. Every day. I wake up every day with the same pain. Same pain every fucking day, G. Oh, to the grave, bro.
Me and my brothers teeth is fucking bitch and we terrorize the city. I pop out, I got 50. He gotta switch it. We step right, we gon' get him. And don't forget the witness. We out of town, you know I got my Drake. That get back game, that shit great. And lil' bro got his face.
Duck, I'm telling you.
Hey, look.
Boy,
hey, look. Hey, look. Hey, look at me. Hey, look at me. Oh, stupid ass up. Nigga, you ain't never smacked nobody, nigga.
You was a bitch, nigga. When I took your chain, I was in your face in your crib, nigga. I told you to take your chain back.
Stupid ass up, nigga.
Oh, when I took your chain, I was in your house. In your face. I told your bitch ass, take your chain back. I said, Yellow, you want your chain, Yellow boy? I said, Yellow, take your chain off my neck, Yellow.
You just left Duck trial on the fucking stand, you fucking rat.
You got your clout. Keep my name out your mouth. You clout chasing ass.
What you the blueprint on?
Nobody listens to you. Nobody off you. Rat, you a fucking goofy ass rat. Folks grave. Stop playing, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. On my homie, nigga, I get blocked up. I don't duck nothing. Nigga, fuck you talking about. Only thing I'm ducking is the feds and the bitch that work my nerves. Kyra, nigga. Rat ass nigga, bro. Fuck you steady putting my name in your mouth. Me the fuck out your mentions, man. Weird ass nigga. Shundil. did I do? What harm did I do, gang? On Took, I told on my fucking dead sister and my dead homie.
So with you taking a stand, are you a snitch, bro?
I mean, if Kyra and Lil B and, you know what I'm saying, BT feels some type of way.
About April 2026 and what the south side of Chicago looks like after everything that happened. About the specific terrible mathematics of counting who is left. About standing in the wreckage of a decade-long war between men who were once family and asking the only question that has ever really mattered: who won? We are going to give you the answer, and the answer is going to require you to sit with something harder than any single incident we have documented in this entire series. The answer is nobody. Nobody won. The blocks are quieter now, not the quiet of peace, the quiet of depletion, of a neighborhood that has been bled by a decade of violence and federal prosecutions and cooperation agreements and funerals, until the people left standing are fewer, older, more exhausted, and still without the resources and the institutional support that might have meant none of this had to happen at all. The big names are dead or in federal custody. The men who were the loudest voices in the most public moments of this beef. The men whose faces and whose words became the documentary record of what this conflict was, are either in the ground or behind bars. Some of them are both things at different points in the same story. Some of them did the time, came home, and then died on the same streets they had tried to survive for decades. And we need to talk about that. We need to talk about the ones who came home and the ones who did not get the chance to stay. We need to talk about what the blocks look like now. About the mothers and the children and the people who survive without making the news, who carry the weight of all of this in their bodies and their daily lives without a camera ever being pointed at them. That is what episode 3 is. The human accounting. The final chapter of what happens when a family goes to war with itself. We are going to walk through it with you, from the beginning, the family they were, all the way through to where we are standing right now, in April 2026, looking at the wreckage and trying to understand what any of it was for. Subscribe, stay with us. The streets are still talking, but the voices are fewer than they were. Let us start. Chapter 1: Specific Southside blocks. Between specific young men who had no reason to be anything other than what they were in the era before the fracture, a community. Not an alliance in the formal, strategic sense, not men who had sat in a room and agreed on terms and signed their names to an understanding. Something more organic than that, more human. The specific, informal, tacitly understood solidarity of people who grew up in the same compressed geography, who attended the same schools and walked the same blocks and attended the same funerals and knew the same people. The solidarity of a shared reality. Of young men who understood each other's lives without requiring explanation, because the lives were too similar to require it. The St. Lawrence corridor that gave STL its identity. The geography of the East Baiti tribe that gave EBT its name and its specific territorial consciousness. The woodlawn streets that produced the JaroCity formation, a crew whose very name carries the weight of the dead.
And they talk about ask him about Lil J. They say what's going on with Lil J now? Well, they say what's going on with Lil J now? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
FBG Young has some things to say about you and
Young, cuz, I don't want to talk about that. Tell him go slide for his brother. Don't talk to me. Tuka, tell him stop talking about me, worry about me and what I got going on Tuka, and stop blaming the ops for Cash Whoop, because the ops ain't killed Cash. On Tuka, that's what I need to worry about, because if a motherfucker killed my blood brother, and still walking this earth, I wouldn't be rapping about my homie. I wouldn't be in interviews bashing my homie. I'd be trying to catch a cap.
Jarvis, the founding figure who fell in 2005, so central to the identity of the people who came after him that they put a version of his name in the name of everything they built. These were separate geographies with separate histories and separate internal structures, but they were not distant from each other. On the compressed map of the South Side, the distance between these territories was measurable in blocks, in minutes, in the specific intimate knowledge of people who have spent their whole lives within a small radius of each other. Before there was a war between these crews and FBG, there was something that looked from the inside like the natural solidarity of people who shared enough common enemies and enough common reality to make cooperation, or at minimum, non-hostility, the rational condition. Not a treaty, not an agreement. A shared understanding of the world that made conflict between these groups in the earliest years seem less likely than the conflicts they all shared with the outside forces that threatened them, and in that shared understanding, relationships formed. Real ones. Not the performed, camera-facing brotherhood of social media content, but the actual, unglamorous, daily life relationships of young men who knew each other's names and their mothers' names, and where they were likely to be on a given afternoon. Who showed up to the same gatherings and moved through the same social world and shared in the specific way that proximity and shared grief make people share. Something that functions like family even when there is no blood connecting them. This is the part that the beef documentation almost always skips, because the beef documentation is interested in the conflict, in the incident that started things, in the specific escalation pattern, in who did what to whom and when. The documentation is not typically interested in the years before the conflict, in the texture of the relationships that existed before they became adversarial relationships, because that texture is harder to document and harder to present in the compressed, easily consumable format of internet drama content. But the texture matters. It is, in fact, the most important thing in the entire story, because the specific form of pain that a war between former allies produces, the kind of devastating, irreversible wound that this conflict left in the Southside community, is inseparable from what existed before it. You cannot understand the depth of the betrayal without understanding the depth of the bond that was betrayed. You cannot understand why the accusations stung so specifically.
Walked up St. Lawrence, I seen the person, he took off running on me. I just want to have a conversation with the guy. You see what I'm saying? This your man, bro, that's vouching for you. Come on, bro, your credibility shot. Right, can't come around me no more. I'm forcing him. He can't come over there, bro. It's over with. And then he had a little piece snitch. That's a snitch twin. Brother trying to go viral, his ass washed up, bro. I don't give a f about you, bro. Your ass a rat, bro. Dude, pigeon, bro. What you talking about? You can't come to nowhere I come to, nigga. You can't do what I do, nigga. You ain't come to Cali ride bulletproof with a bodyguard. You talking about goof ass, nigga. Bro, he trying to be known still, bro. Your ass, man, it's a new time and day and era out here, bro. Can't no nigga say they did nothing wrong to me, so now you just ride me all on my now you saying I'm this and that. Boy, get your goof ass on. You know that shit don't even sound right, bro. Because look, you was just saying, oh, Lil Mikey, bro, he don't play that shit, this and that, bro. Yeah, we got a tour and shit, but you never did nothing wrong to me, like, me or none of that shit. But no nigga, man, bro, look here, bro. No nigga up on me, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like,
yeah, like, what is the real, like, why did you feel like you had to say whatever you had to say after he passed away? You feel like, no, you already said it. I ain't gonna ask you that. Oh, you already said that.
Nah. I ain't really say, folks, cause like, I really said what I said because I feel like, cause I know Lil Mikey and what he was doing when he was alive, bruh. Like, I know what he would've did, like, you know what I'm saying? Because before he died, bruh, he was just saying all type of shit, bruh. Like, I'm talking about day before he died, bro. He was saying, oh yeah, they can't come outside. I'm like, bro, I'm outside right now. Like, I ain't finna do that shit. I ain't finna do the internet shit with you, bro. You mad because of vlog. Take responsibility for your actions, bro. You did that shit. And when a motherfucker asks me the question, I'm gonna tell him the truth. You can't be mad about me telling the truth about what's going on with us, bro. Because that's what happened, bro. I'm not telling no lie. You see what I'm saying? So like, how's you mad? You was chasing the clout, gang. So now you mad at me again? You mad at me again because the motherfucker asked me a question. You mad at me? I didn't tell a lie. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to look like, half we into it, gang. Now you mad again. You mad. Now I'm seeing you sneak dissing. I'm getting that who can't come outside? Who goofy? You know what I'm saying? They can, after that vlog, y'all ass can't come outside no more. I said, bro, I'm outside right now.
Oh, you talking about the vlog on the couch? Y'all seen that?
Yeah. It just redid some other shit with that shit. Like, he just like, y'all can't come outside. I'm like, who? Bro, I'm outside right now. I'm always outside. Like, bro, it's not a time and I'm not outside. Like, ain't nobody just know not to play with me. Tell they ass to pull up, bro. I'm outside every day on duck grade, bro. I'm not ducking nothing. I'm not running for nothing. Even if I get $1 million right now, I'm still gonna be where I'm at. But I know how to move, bro. Like,
man, bro.
I'm outside, bro.
But hold on, wait. I want to say this, pressure. Like,
so look, this what I'm telling you. So after he said what he said, and I told him I'm outside, walk the band. I'm riding around. 2025, kid. You feel me? I'm in the newest shit, bro. Like, I ain't broke. The fans going, oh yeah, broke ass watch, man. No, I'm not, bro. I'm not broke, bro. I got motion, bro. I've been having motion since I was a jit. From this interview shit, I could not do an interview and still be straight, bro. I'm still gonna be out here, still be on live, doing all that shit, bro. I got money for real, bro. When I went to jail, bro, I went to jail for selling guns, gang. Who the fuck you think I was giving the guns? If I was selling guns, who the fuck you think had all the guns? Because of who? Like, it don't even make sense to me. Like, y'all looking out, y'all trying to figure this shit out. Y'all ass dumb as hell, bro. How you don't know this was going on, bro? I had all the guns and I went to jail for selling guns, but we ain't finna keep doing that, bro. Cause that's some police shit. I ain't finna get in that shit. I ain't here to brag. I ain't here for the let y'all know what's going on. Y'all think what y'all wanna think. Y'all gonna think I told, you can't show me no black and white my name on it.
Because that texture is harder to document and harder to present in the compressed, easily consumable format of internet drama content. But the texture matters. It is, in fact, the most important thing in the entire story, because the specific form of pain that a war between former allies produces, the kind of devastating, irreversible wound that this conflict left in the Southside community, is inseparable from what existed before it. You cannot understand the depth of the betrayal without understanding the depth of the bond that was betrayed. You cannot understand why the accusation stung so specifically, why the Just Rappers allegation carried such particular weight, why the snitching accusations on both sides hit with such force, without understanding that the people making them and the people they were directed at had once stood in the same rooms and called each other by the names that people use for family. Men who grow up in environments characterized by the specific density of the Southside street community, where the geography is compressed and the social world is intimate, and the shared experience of violence and loss and daily danger creates bonds that outsiders struggle to fully comprehend. Those men develop relationships of extraordinary depth and mutual understanding. They know each other in ways that conventional friendship does not quite capture. They know how each other moves. They know each other's tells, the specific behavioral patterns that reveal fear or confidence or grief or hunger in a way that only years of proximity can teach. And they know each other's stories, the real stories, the ones that do not make it into the songs or that make it only in the most compressed coded form, the specific losses, the specific fears, the specific experiences that shaped who each person became. The early deaths that marked everyone, the funerals attended as children that established, before any of these young men had the vocabulary to fully articulate it, that the world they had been born into was one in which death arrived early and often and without the dignified distance that other communities expected from it. For JaroCity, the foundational grief was the loss of Jarvis, dead in 2005, a young man whose significance to the people around him was profound enough that they named their entire collective identity after him. Jarvis became Jaro. The crew became the monument to the fallen, as so many Southside formations do, carrying the dead in their name, their identity, their organizational structure. as a permanent acknowledgement that the people who are gone are never entirely gone. That grief, the specific early grief of losing Jarvis, established something in the JaroCity formation from the beginning, an understanding of loss as foundational, a recognition that the world they inhabited was one in which the people you loved could be taken at any moment, and that the community's obligation was to remember them accurately and completely, to ensure that their existence was not erased by the violence that had ended it. This is not a pathological relationship with death. This is a very human, very ancient response to an environment in which mortality is a constant proximity. Communities that exist in proximity to regular death develop specific cultural practices for honoring the dead, for maintaining the bonds between the living and the lost, for ensuring that the people who are gone are given the dignity of sustained remembrance. JaroCity's formation, in significant part, grew out of that cultural practice applied to the specific grief of losing Jarvis and the many other members who followed him. STL's roots in the St. Lawrence corridor gave them their own specific history of losses and their own specific set of conflicts that predated the FBG beef by years. The men who built what became STL had been navigating their own set of adversarial relationships, their own war history, their own memorial ledger, long before anyone was documenting the drama for the internet. They had earned their reputation in the community that knew them through actual history, through actual conflict, through the specific, ground-level, unambiguous demonstration of willingness to engage that the street community respects and that cannot be manufactured by social media presence alone. EBT maintained its distinct identity with a clarity that its most prominent public figure, BG Baby Greg, has been explicit about. EBT was not a sub-branch of STL. It was its own formation, with its own territorial identity, its own internal structure, its own sovereign sense of who it was and what it represented. The alliance between EBT and STL was a functional partnership between entities that remained distinct, not a merger that dissolved one into the other. Understanding that distinction is important for understanding the full political landscape of this story, because it means that the coalition that eventually stood against FBG was not a single monolithic entity, but a network of distinct formations with their own specific histories and their own specific relationships with each other. And before any of these formations were at war with FBG, in the years when the social and political relationships of the South Side were being organized around shared enemies rather than internal conflicts.
Gregory, stop mentioning the motherfucking names, G. Like, you a fucking goofy, G. For real. On the guys, G. Like, you a real live dick rider, G. Talking about clout chase. Don't no motherfucker always chase clout, man. You know that. Straight the fuck up. Chasing clout. G. You the one do interviews with the BDs, folks. That's chasing clout, G. On the guys. And you not from Everhard, folks. Your ass from the Audi home, boy. On the guys. Fuck wrong with you, G. You from 11th and Hamilton, folks. Like, it's not making sense to me, folks. Like, why you study mentioning the motherfucking names, G? Niggas don't mention your name, folks. We don't talk about you, G. We don't speak upon you, G. You's a fucking nobody. A real fucking goofy, G. Like, and you know that, so for you to even be coming through a motherfucking phone like that, G, like talking crazy, making these goofy ass videos, these dumb ass accusations, folks, you know better than that, G. Like, you the same nigga was writing me in jail, folks, man, I can't wait till you come home, folks. You the realest nigga left, folks. You all I got, folks. Like, G, come on, man, you's a fucking goofy, G. On the guys. Like, you was a real live fan of fucking dick rider, G. You was one of my shorties, folks, and you older than me, G. Folks, you real live blue, cause I ain't let you backdoor the guys, folks. Like, make that make sense. Same nigga write me in jail, folks. Let me rob Duck, G. Let me rob. Get your goofy ass on, folks. You a fucking goofy. For real, G. Like, it ain't making sense to me, though, G. Like, you study speaking upon us, folks. We don't speak upon you. Then you talking about some, what the fuck does Goofy say? Oh, yeah, if motherfucking kill me, G. A motherfucker be an innocent bystander and a nigga gonna mention my name. Motherfucker gonna say they smoking me. Ain't no motherfucker gonna mention you or make no diss songs about you, G. What the fuck? You for real, G? Mention you, G. Make a diss song about you. Get your goofy ass on, man. Don't nobody mention your goofy ass, G. You's a fucking nobody. Slap the shit out of one of the guys. They make a song about you. You fucking clown. Only thing you said that was true, folks, that Parkway didn't do that. On the guys, they ain't do that, they can't get right, folks. That's the only thing that was accurate, folks. They came out your fucking mouth. And the motherfucker, one of the niggas that did that ain't here to talk about it. Fuck you talking about, goofy? Talking about you lost respect for little folks and them. Little folks and them out here every fucking day, too. On the guys, folks, niggas don't duck shit. Like, make it make sense, folks. Don't nobody duck shit, G. Like, motherfucking in this city, G. Motherfucking living life, folks. Like, you capping. Talking about niggas ain't on their block. Oh, took a grade, G. The only niggas that can still hang on their blocks or in their hood, folks, is Parkway. And you know why? Not because they gangsters, folks. On the guys, because they got CPD in that bitch. Fuck you talking about? They got real live security guards, real live CPD in that bitch. Folks, go through the lamb. Ain't nobody in there, folks. Ain't nobody out there. I took a grade, folks. Go through 600. Ain't nobody out there. Fuck wrong with you? Go through motherfucking Trap City. Go through TYMB. Ain't no motherfucker out there, man. Stop playing, G. Like,
that gun for BT, bro. You took it on some friend shit, bro. You ain't never know you ain't exposed your hand like you
to
on
these
some
people,
shit.
bro. Stop lying. You's a bitch.
Hey, look. Hey, bro. Motherfucker catch you
on
in
social
Jeffrey.
media
Motherfucker catch
lying
you in
and
Jeffrey
saying
Manor, bro.
5-year-old little girl. You's a hoe, nigga.
Fuck that. Fuck your daughter,
damn
man.
girl. You's a bitch.
They ain't got shit to do with me.
On phone then, you a coward, shorty. You gonna die.
I'm just saying, bro.
Walk out the
I'm
crib
saying
one day and get shot
you
in
got
your
me
head.
here for what? You got me here for what? What you want to say?
Grade, you gonna accidentally walk out the crib and get shot in your head, folks. Accidentally.
I'm
Motherfuckers just
outside
gonna
right
shoot
now.
you in your shit. On
I'm
my mama
outside
by
right now.
accident. A bullet gonna fall out the sky and just put your little ass in the mud.
Hey, look.
Gay
I'm gonna
ass
get you one. I'm gonna get you one of these for Father's Day, bro, from your daughter.
Oh,
I'm gonna buy you one of these.
all that. And that shit fake as hell, gang. And on phone MT, you got a fucking son by a fucking rat, folks. The whole neighborhood piped that bitch down on folks them. That bitch is a rat, folks. On my mama, and your son got Down syndrome, folks. Y'all ass slow. That shit running y'all DNA, folks. Look at you, G.
Hey, look, the whole Instagram know my son, bro. Is you serious?
Folks, the little nigga got Down syndrome, gang.
Hey, look, everybody on Instagram know my son.
His little goofy
hey,
retarded, folks, just like you and your fucking brothers and your daddy, and your sister. And
I know that. Look, I know that shit don't go to YouTube.
Look,
I ain't gonna disrespect your baby mama, but every nigga know how she coming.
I'm finna tell these people how your sister threw up on my dick. Oh, folks, I'm finna tell them how your sister threw up on my dick. I was fucking this nigga's sister, man. Hey, look, man, let me talk. I was fucking this nigga's sister, man. This bitch sucked my dick, folks. The bitch tried to deep throat,
that's probably the second thing. That's probably the second thing you said through.
Put that bitch right out.
I'm gonna let you talk, bro. You ain't trying to let me talk. I'm let you talk.
I let you talk long enough. You ain't talking about nothing. You talking like the kid you is, folks.
So when I upload your paper, saying
your son got Down syndrome, pussy ass.
When I upload your paper, bro.
You been shot up so many times and ain't got no get back, folks. You let one of the guys pop you up with your own gun. I took you niggas gun. MOB took you niggas gun, then shot you with it. You bitch ass nigga. Then you was his friend the next day. You a coward, pussy.
Hey, you a police officer.
Fuck you talking about.
You been saying police
shit. You got nerve to up this fake ass jewelry. Man, get that
you
shit
been saying police shit out. You don't got nothing. Show me some money.
Shorty. All you niggas hoes, folks. Y'all know what I do, boy. You bitch ass niggas. Y'all better keep building y'all little.
You not. Hey, look, you not
better keep building y'all little fan base. Cause you gonna walk out your crib one day and accidentally get shot in your head. You a bitch, and you be out of town on folks in grade. And nigga, let's talk about geese. Nigga, your brother a fucking faggot. That's why he study going in and out of jail, gang. He's a faggot.
You the one that's in and out of jail. You the faggot. I just told you just stuff that gun in your booty.
Folks, he gay. I don't even carry 380s, folks. I carry big shit.
Come on, man.
You bitch ass nigga. I got chops bigger than you dumb ass nigga.
Bro, you say you
hey, boy,
right?
Hey, look, man. Y'all go watch my last video, gang.
Yo, next video. You a rapper now, gang? Oh, you trying to
go watch my
use
last
to promote
video on this
promote you? You a rapper now?
Niggas hoes, folks. And y'all harboring rats, gang. Y'all harboring rats, you bitch ass nigga.
We rats. Hey, my name ain't not one paper weight. What are you talking about?
Hoe. You
Is you done?
Nigga.
Is you done, bro?
You a coward, shorty.
Is you done? You done? I just let you talk. Is you done?
Talking about cause you lying to these people for you can't even keep it 100.
Hey, look. Is you done or what? So I can talk.
You keep it 100. Stop lying.
You want me to keep it 100, huh? Your ass never ever in life did nothing but took a gun from a little boy, bro. That's all you ever did.
Okay. What else?
That's all you ever did, bro.
You said that. I let you talk. What else?
Nah, you say you EBT. You EBT?
That's my shit. You know what's going on.
All right, come on your block then. How I be on your block more than you?
I'm on the band.
Why you can't come on your block, bro?
I'm saying, what you want me to break off house arrest for? That's what you want me to do. Get your gay ass on.
Now you on house arrest, but you just told me you finna slide past tomorrow. You just say you finna slide past, right?
Yeah.
Make it make sense, bro. Make this shit make sense.
I just showed you the band. I'm gonna show you.
You gay. Hey, listen. Oh, Shadell on my son. I know you on house arrest, but you just told them you finna slide past and do all this. Now that
Storm, bro, what's going on with you and Swipe, man? Why you come at Swipe so hard?
Man, Swipe ass goofy, man. I'm talking about this just like he was in the streets on Lil B Grave. This hood hopping, whatever hood popping at the time. This hopping over there on the internet. Whoever popping at the time, doing views, got something going on. He want to make a story about it. Then he want to lie about this. His ass a goofy, folks. On Lil B, his a real clown. And hey, look, and I don't be feeling that. I just told him to stop mentioning my name. Anything pop on the internet with BG, this gotta find a way to feel like he obligated to clear my name, folks. Don't mention my name, G. You ain't obligated to clear my name. None of that. You chasing that, dude. Let the internet be the internet. I don't give a fuck these goofy stink. These people don't even know me. I don't know them. So if a motherfucker come up with a rumor on the internet about BG, folks, man, you ain't gotta clear my name up. You chasing that. You chasing the check. You up on Lil B, and I'm fresh out. You hollering this broke. BZ ain't got nothing going on. BZ decent, folks. BZ always gonna be decent on Lil B, and man, him and Big Deal know what's going on. I'm gonna say less on that, folks, but they know what's going on, man. Look, man, when a motherfucker get caught up and weep, you know, wanna make it seem like you crazy. That's how the game go. I'm talking about when a motherfucker get caught trying to be slick. They gonna try to, damn, what you on, fool? Like, damn, gee, why you coming at me? Why I ain't do nothing? You know, like, my try to make you look like the bad guy. But I mean, I've been a bad guy all my life. Like, I mean, that's how my been making me look. That's lush. I'm used to that. But they know what's going on, folks. Look, truth teller, he better stop playing.
Okay. So you saying so the Dale situation, man? You want to expand on that, or?
Man, he know what's going on, man. At the end of the day, man, look, I heard some about dude with my name in his mouth way back when the first time I got locked up in Stateville. No, matter of fact, I was in Stateville when I got snatched off house arrest from doing the 10 months. I was tweaking on the internet because they was playing with me. This is my daughter, all type of, you know. I get locked up, get snatched off house arrest. Send the police in the crib. You know how that go. They talking about I had pipes, weapons of mass destruction, all type of. They coming at, ain't find nothing but still lock me up. But I'm in Stateville. I take my little time. I'm in Stateville. That happened to Fat Shawty and Skinny, whatever. You know that shit with them. You know, I call to the crib and tell me, look, man, my when you touch, you the reason, what? Say less. For me, I feed off that type of shit. Say less. They guilty by association anyway, if you ask me. Cash. And anybody was with them.
So you wasn't with Cash, Shawty, or Skinny?
Man, look, I told folks, and this could vouch for this, folks. I told before I got out in 21, G, before I bonded out, I tell folks, I was arguing with Young and Cash and that on the phone. You know, one of the guys was on the phone, called them, I'm on the phone, you know, get the argument off his line. But I'm on the phone with my people, he on the phone with dude, and then we get to arguing. I tell folks, I tell Jaro, I say, look, folks, do not let dude and them pull y'all in that. No, they terrified of me. On my daughter. Terrified of me, folks. And I know they ties in Cash ties with Fat Shawty and Fat Shawty ties with Jaro. Like, I know how this goes. So I tell this, folks, do not let them pull y'all in this, because when I touch, it's like that. It's like that.
Bro. All of these people moved through a common world. They knew FBG's people. Some of them had known each other for years, from school, from the neighborhood, from the specific shared social world that tight urban geographies produce. That is the family that eventually went to war. Not metaphorical family, not family in the loose, broadly applied sense that street communities sometimes use the word to signal affiliation. Family in the specific, intimate, relationship-based sense. People who knew each other's names and histories and mothers, who had been in each other's presence in moments of grief and laughter and ordinary life, who had accumulated years of shared experience before any of it became a conflict. When the war came, it did not come for strangers. It came for people who knew each other, and that is why it hit the way it hit, and left the marks that it left, and produced the specific quality of devastation that a decade later shows no sign of fully healing. The first loss in a war between brothers is always the understanding that the thing you built together is now being used to destroy each other. The relationships, the knowledge, the intimacy, all of it becomes weaponized. Everything you knew about the other person becomes operational intelligence. Everything you shared becomes vulnerability. The family becomes the threat, and the threat carries all the specific danger of intimate knowledge turned against you. That is what happened here. Not between strangers, between people who were, in the most meaningful sense of the word, family. And like all family fractures, this one was not caused by a single incident. It was built by accumulated pressure, by the specific combination of pride and grief and perceived disrespect, and unaddressed grievance, that every relationship, whether personal or collective, accumulates over time if the mechanisms for processing it are absent. The south side of Chicago in the drill era did not provide many mechanisms for processing accumulated grievance. It provided guns and cameras and social media platforms and funerals, and eventually, it provided this story. Chapter 2, The Fracture Point, How Brotherhood Becomes War. There is a specific moment in every relationship fracture, whether between two people or between two communities, that, in retrospect, seems like the moment when the direction became irreversible. The moment when the accumulated weight of unprocessed grievance finally exceeded the structural capacity of the relationship to hold it. When the dam broke. But here is the thing that makes that retrospective identification of the moment so dangerous and so misleading. In real time, from the inside, the moment never feels singular. It feels like one more pressure added to the accumulated pressure of all the previous pressures. It feels, to the people living it, like one more event in a long sequence of events. The irreversibility only becomes apparent afterward, when the full consequences have made themselves plain, and you are standing in the wreckage trying to identify where the architecture failed. The fracture between the STL, EBT, JaroCity orbit and FBG did not happen in a single incident. The forensic record is clear on this. What the record shows instead is a slow-motion process, a gradual deterioration of the shared understanding that had allowed these groups to coexist without active hostility, driven by the accumulation of specific incidents and specific perceived failures of reciprocity and specific moments of disrespect, both real and perceived, that over time made the cost of continued non-hostility greater than the cost of open war. The transition from shared community to active conflict moved through several distinct phases. The first phase was the cooling. Before there was a beef, there was a distance. Before the public accusations, there was a withdrawal of the warmth that characterized the earlier period of functional solidarity. Men who had been in each other's presence regularly began to move in more separate orbits. The social world that had included everyone began to reorganize along lines that placed these groups in opposition, rather than adjacency. This cooling did not announce itself. It was experienced by the people living it as a gradual shift in the temperature of relationships, a withdrawal of easy familiarity that was notable because the familiarity had been real. The second phase was the accounting, the specific process by which each side began to compile its grievances against the other. The things that had been accepted or overlooked or stored quietly in the period of functional solidarity began to be examined more critically. Decisions made years earlier began to be reinterpreted through the emerging framework of opposition, rather than the old framework of solidarity. Incidents that had seemed minor in the context of the Brotherhood became, in retrospect, evidence of the specific pattern that justified the emerging conflict. The Just Rappers allegation, the specific devastating accusation that FBG's members were people who had never actually engaged in the street activity that their music and their public persona claimed, was the result of this accounting process. It was not invented from nothing. It was assembled from the specific observations of people who had been close enough to FBG's world to have formed opinions about the gap between the public presentation and the private reality. Whether those opinions were fully accurate, partially, say you are a fraud in this context is to say your existence in this community, as you have presented it, is a lie. And the respect you have received on the basis of that lie was stolen from people who are more deserving of it than you. That is a challenge that cannot be absorbed quietly. It demands a response, and the response, whatever its specific form, must be large enough and clear enough to address not just the specific allegation, but the broader implication that you are not who you said you were. FBG's response to the emerging allegations, the specific form that their public answer took, and the ways in which their own community's behavior during this period either validated or undermined their counter-narrative, is part of the documented record that episodes 1 and 2 covered in detail. What episode 3 is interested in is not the specific accuracy of either side's claims, but the structural process by which the exchange of accusations, once it began, became self-sustaining. Because here is what happens when a credibility dispute goes public in the social media era. It becomes impossible to de-escalate. The public nature of the exchange means that every subsequent action is evaluated not just by the parties involved, but by the broader community that is watching. Every failure to respond is interpreted as an admission. Every response generates a counter-response. The audience, the thousands and then tens of thousands, and then hundreds of thousands of people watching the exchange on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, becomes a factor in the dispute itself, because the parties are now performing for the audience as much as they are addressing each other. This is a specifically modern form of an ancient dynamic. The core dynamic, the way that public disputes between men in communities organized around honor create cycles of escalation that become difficult to interrupt, is as old as human community. What is modern is the speed and the scale. The internet collapses the time between action and audience response. The community that is judging you is now global, not local. The record is permanent and instantly searchable. Nothing can be walked back because everything is preserved. In this environment, the dispute between the STL, EBT, Jaro orbit, and FBG moved from a local credibility dispute, the kind of argument that in previous eras might have been resolved or at least contained within the specific community that was having it, into a global piece of public content. And as a piece of public content, it had its own logic, its own demands, its own escalatory momentum that was partially independent of what the specific people involved actually wanted. Because here is something that the honest account must acknowledge about the human beings at the center of this story. Some of them, in their private moments, may have understood that the direction things were heading was going to cost everyone involved far more than anything that was being gained. Some of them may have had moments of clarity in which the specific human beings on the other side of the dispute were visible as human beings, with mothers and children and lives that extended far beyond the beef, rather than as symbols of opposition to be destroyed. But the machinery of the public dispute had become too powerful to allow for private clarity to translate into public de-escalation. The audience expected escalation. The code demanded escalation. The specific moral logic of the street community, in which any failure to respond to a challenge is a confirmation of the worst things that challenge implies, demanded escalation. And so the distance between the families grew, and the accumulated grievances multiplied, and the specific incidents that pushed the relationship from cold distance to hot war began to occur, each one adding new weight to the existing weight, each one making the possibility of returning to what existed before more remote. The FBG brick situation. The specific allegations that Mama Duck has documented publicly. That JaroCity members were involved in events that resulted in FBG Brick's imprisonment, that a gun was stolen, that information was provided to people who used it against him. Whether every specific detail of those allegations is accurate is something the honest account must acknowledge as disputed. But the weight of Mama Duck's public testimony, the specificity of what she claims, the directness with which she names the behavior, is not something that can be dismissed as baseless. If those allegations are accurate, then the fracture was not simply a credibility dispute that escalated. It was a betrayal. a specific, targeted, weaponized use of the systems of the state, the very systems that the street code condemns as the ultimate violation of community solidarity against a specific person for the specific strategic benefit of the people who opposed him. And if it was a betrayal, if what happened with FBG Brick was the kind of intentional, instrumental use of cooperation as a weapon against an opponent, then the subsequent years of public moralizing about who was real and who was not, who was loyal and who was a snitch, who deserved the street's respect and who had forfeited it. All of that moralizing was happening in the shadow of a foundational act that undermined the moral authority of the people doing the moralizing. This is the fracture at its most devastating level. Not the public beef, not the social media exchange, not even the active conflict with its specific casualties on both sides. The most devastating fracture was the one that happened in private. The moment when the decision was made to use against a former community member the tools that the community most deeply condemns. After that, the war was not just inevitable. It was the continuation of something that had already happened at a level too deep to be walked back. But the walking back never came. And the war that followed, the hot war, the active conflict period with its specific terrible cost, is what the next chapter is about. The hardest chapter is the one where the argument stops being theory and becomes bodies, real people, real families, mothers getting calls no one should get, children measuring time by the last day they saw their father. The active conflict between FBG and the STL, EBT, Jaro orbit produced casualties. That is documented. Once public grief and public pride fuse, retaliation becomes the operating principle. Each loss creates a demand. Each response creates a new demand. The cycle runs until capacity is exhausted. Death, incarceration, or federal intervention. All three stopping mechanisms eventually arrived here. But before the machinery stopped, it ran. And it produced what it always produces. Funerals, court dates, and the permanent absence of people who mattered. Every death in a tight community ripples. Grief, in an environment with few legitimate exits, converts into obligation. The ripple is operational, not metaphor. Each loss is both an end and the beginning of the next sequence. The murder of FBG Brick and the death of Kobe Mack in the same incident was one of the most significant losses of the active period on the FBG side. Brick was not peripheral. He was family by blood and by years of building an identity together. Kobe Mack was not a footnote. He was a man with a history and a future the conflict denied him. On the STL, EBT, Jaro side, the ledger bears its own weight. The memorial that begins with Jarvis in 2005, Rel, Lil Daryl, Brody Luss. Names spoken in living rooms and on sidewalks. Not statistics. People known deeply, missed daily. Each death was a human tragedy and a strategic event. The conflict reduces people to pieces on a board. The honest account holds both truths. These were human beings, and the structure assigned their deaths a meaning that has nothing to do with what their lives were worth. Their lives were worth everything. The board was worth nothing. Many men understood at moments where this was heading. Moments of clarity did not translate into change. The logic of the war was stronger than private insight. The code, the expectations, the geography, the grief. They narrowed the choices until deviation felt impossible. They were not free in the ways the simple narrative imagines. The story is not clean. It does not have heroes who were purely right or villains who were purely wrong. It has people, inside pressure they did not design, making choices that repeated because the structure made repetition the path of least resistance. And when enough bodies accumulated, the circle widened. The violence radiated beyond the people at its center. The government noticed. The next chapter is about that shift, when the federal weight arrived, and the war that began on blocks became a case file with numbers, informants, and years attached to names. We have to stop here and count, not to honor the past, to face the present. April 2026. What is actually here? Begin at 63rd and Drexel. Jaro Lil Mikey, Michael, 29. Home less than a month after 13 years in prison. Shot more than 10 times in a car on March 25th, 2026. The same station where Rel, original Jaro, was killed June 28th, 2025 in front of his kids. One corner, two graves without headstones, a neighborhood landmark turned private cemetery. Jaro Skinny, gone. Lil Daryl, gone. Brody Els, gone. FBG Duck, gone since August 4th, 2020, would be 32 today. FBG Brick, gone. Kobe Mack, gone. Every name a person, every absence a task assigned to someone still breathing. The federal ledger is active. Charles Liggins, Kenneth Robertson to Carlos, offered Christopher Thomas, Marcus Smart convicted in Duck's murder, waiting on numbers that will measure out the rest of their lives. King Lil J, federal time in New York, projected out in 2031. Nate, Nacien Flowers, 55 years in the Taekwon Tyler case, release around 2068. Decades in a calendar that doesn't care who they were at 23. The commercial crown didn't insulate the city. Lil Durk faces federal murder-for-hire charges tied to the Quando Rondo shooting that killed Lil Pab. 3 OTF co-defendants. Trial set for August 25th, 2026. If the gavel falls hard, music pauses for years. Munna Duke, Rashawn Vance, killed in Edgewater, May 2025. Another call, another family that will never wait the same way again. Count the dead. Count the incarcerated. Count the pending cases. Count the men still walking these blocks with lives rewritten by grief, indictments, and the slow erosion that follows both. Ask how many of the faces that fed the algorithm are still here to argue about it. The number is lower than it should be. Far lower. Listen to the streets. They are quieter, but not because the wound closed. The conditions did not change. Disinvestment compressed geography, scarce exits. The blocks are quieter because the people are gone. That isn't peace, it's depletion. This is the count in 2026. Not a myth, not a headline. A roll call of absence. And the corner at 63rd and Drexel remembers every name whether we speak it or not.